Such a dumb description, but that's fine. Okay, so few updates, but I'll wait. I'll wait till some folks come in here to do the updates. I'm just gonna do some basic designing stuff here. In the meantime, because this ended up being far too weak. So can I literally just do a press pull on this? Oh yeah. Let's bump it up like 0.875. Let's try that. Because it was basically non-existent. And we can even grab the fillet and bring the fillet out more. It worked there for a second, but I'm just going to delete it. And then add a new one. Actually, while we're chilling, I'm gonna look at. Yeah, here we go. Don't need. I ended up having to do some housework today for a majority of the day, so that's why I'm so late to the stream. I did do a couple things though. I did do a couple tests, and I just had a minute, so I actually stuck one of the gondolas onto the cable, and I ran it, and it almost worked perfectly. But there were issues. Let's just go for that right now because I got two things printing. Yeah, I got all my machines are being used right now, so I may as well get some more prints ready so we can start designing some stuff. So the biggest issue, well, I mean, there's a few big issues. One of them is that my cable attachment system doesn't work that great. It worked really good in theory, but as soon as I actually put the gondola on and sent it over the cables, basically what ended up happening is this piece ended up getting all twisted. Oh no. This piece ended up kind of like just twisting a bit, just like that. And so it ended up going down the whole thing all crooked like this, instead of wheels. This like kind of rotated like that and got stuck in between some wheels. So this doesn't work that well. The good, even when it's like pretty bad, because it was the first time it went over the first set of rollers, it got knocked askew like this. So we've confirmed that the actual cable system's pretty robust. The cable never fell off, but this thing just isn't cutting it. So we have to come up with something better there. The other thing we figured out is the chain loves to fall off. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print a really simple chain guide. And I don't have any model of... I think if we go over to this, this is sort of our mechanical setup here. This has the hub lock. This has the motor mount. And basically, we're just going to start a millimeters. And we can probably do like a 30, maybe a 40 millimeter. Maybe we'll do 30 millimeter. Little roller. And we're just going to create essentially a little roller that we can tighten and loosen depending on how the chain's feeling. No, I didn't. That would have been fun. That would have been a fun little thing to add into a video, but I didn't do any of that. Despite living in the same province as the peak-to-peak gondola system, which is, I think, the largest unsupported gondola on Earth. It literally goes from a peak of one mountain to the peak of another mountain, and the cable's just fully unsupported. It is insane. There's no extra things. I think it's thick. So if I make this 9 millimeters, I think we're good. And then just for the sake of like, let's go 45. Did you get up to anything today at all? Oh. Actually, I just realized something kind of dumb about this. Not much? Nice. Nice, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. Just realized something kind of dumb about this. Let's go with 4.5. Oh no, we'll keep it like that. Keep it at 9 and we'll put the other one inside. I'm thinking I want to put bearings on this just because I was apprehensive to put bearings on anything else. Honestly, Mars, what's going on? Long time no see. I've been apprehensive to put bearings on all the other stuff because there's been so many of them, but there's only going to be one of these, so I can afford to put some bearings on this, I think. Gosh, when's the last time you were on a stream? How long has it been now? These bearings are very rough. I'm just trying to clean them up a little bit here. Just work them. Oh yeah, these feel bad. But that's okay. The motor has so much torque to it, actually. Holy! Congrats on that. Hope that's going well. I am actually multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube right now. So if you have a Twitch, we're on Twitch there as well, and generally people are on Twitch because YouTube's a lot slower when it comes to chats. For the most part, sometimes it's not, but you know all of that, of course. Sort of. I still feel like I don't know anything. Okay, so we're gonna insert a bearing in here. We're gonna need support. Isn't it I mean, it's fine. I'm just gonna be talking to 2 individual groups, but the Twitch is just Super Valid Designs if you prefer Twitch over YouTube. I gotta do a better job of like actually making the streams easier to find. Okay, let's just measure this. So 22 millimeters. So we're gonna throw a bearing on the bottom of this. It's been such a crappy day. I'll bear in mind, I've been wondering if I should simulcast now that YouTube and Twitch relaxed their TOS to allow it. I literally didn't even know there was terms of service issues with that. But I just see everybody else doing it, and I think I have heard like if you have the chats on, it's kind of weird. But other than that, it's been pretty seamless. Or yeah. Sorry, it's been a crazy day today. It's so windy. It's so it's been extremely windy. I had to do some stuff that ended up taking way longer than expected. Okay, 3 mils. And I had some failures that I really thought weren't going to happen, but they did happen. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes that's fair. What are you streaming, by the way? Okay, so that will allow the bearing. And then I want to do another bearing on the top, I guess. I'm not really sure if this is the best way to do it. I feel pretty rough today, like in terms of my brain health. I don't know what is going on exactly. What did we say? 22. So if I go 11, oh no, it's only 7 mils. So I guess I'll go minus 4. Let's do minus 3. And so the bearing is going to be sticking out 4 mils from that point. I was also thinking about doing like a TPU kind of ring in here. I don't know if I'm going to do it though. Been pretty, like, just want to get this done at this point. Partly regular gaming, partly ASMR streams, partly ASMR gaming streams, but it's all open. I've been thinking of making a crank operated rollable backdrop that can roll. Nice. That'd be a fun project. You should stream that. I've obviously been streaming my projects now for the last 2 videos, or the last 1.5 videos. It's so fun. It makes projects. I can get so bogged down if I'm doing stuff on my own, but as soon as there's other people involved, it's so fun. Yeah, my brain today was just... I'm not sure if you've been on since we started this project. Is this a waste to do it like this? No, it's not a waste. This is the right call. So we want washer. We want washer and then bearing, and the bearing will be attached to the outside of the wheel. And I want another one that clamps it. Right. But then I somehow also need to clamp the top on with the bearing. Ooh. Okay, let me just check my print quickly here. I'll be right back. Oh, by the way, I did end up printing a set of yellow walls that we might try out. I don't know how it's gonna look, but we will see. So I basically want, so I'm gonna have to have a bolt that drives through these bearings and holds a pulley. And I don't know what's on, been too busy trailing a new editor and testing my setup. Unfortunately, it's a lucky twist of fate that I'm here. Actually, I thought about you earlier when... Oh, nice! We're doing a big project. It's the biggest thing I've ever built. And there is some, like, crank-related aspect to it. This is what it is. This is the Roden Tram Express. It's a 250-foot gondola system to relocate mice. And the gondolas here are actually the trap. So the mice walk in here, they fall in the trap door, and they fill up the gondola throughout the night. And then you hang this on the actual gondola system. This rides down 250 feet down my property, and then this thing releases and empties all the mice down at the bottom of the hill. It's an insane, pretty dumb, pretty crazy thing. And we're almost done. I'm just having some chain issues, so I'm building a chain pulley to kind of... Yeah, and I honestly don't know if it's gonna work. You know, they might just end up coming back, but my theory is that where I live, these mice they're native to the land. Oops. They're native to this land. So even if you get... Oh, that's a good call, Carson. I'll probably do a silver one for that one. If I do it. I might just end up doing a blue and a red one only. But since they're native, even if you end up... You know, most people just kill the mice. And the problem with them being native is when you kill them... Why is my mic peaking so much? When you kill them, just show up. And so my theory is that just by moving them down the hill, I'm just basically redistributing them back out into the wild. And at least it gives me a buffer zone where I can do the proper renovations to slow, like mouse proofing chicken coop, for example. That's the big problem. That's where all the mice are right now. They get into my chicken coop. And mouse proofing them is, it's so hard because these mice figure out every little crack and every little crevice. So, you know, I've done the traditional thing and gotten rid of mice that way, but they just end up coming back in a few days anyways. So this way I feel good about just like continually trapping them in perpetuity, and then I can slowly make the chicken coop better until none of them show up ever again. That's kind of the idea. Because I can't chicken proof, or I can't mouse proof the chicken coop while there's mice still in there. I have to still catch them and get them out of there. And so that's the idea. And I'm an animal lover. I really don't like mice. Because of the disease issues. But I'm willing to try this out. Engineering to the rescue, exactly. And it's fun. And it looks really cute. Like the like this looks really like Disney style, and then we have this little mouse emblem that goes on the front there. And so it's just been so fun to like make something that actually looks really adorable. And the release mechanism is a leaf, because mice build with video with like a crazy build on it, and I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, and then I need to do another 20. But I used a windshield wiper motor that I salvaged from my mom's car, her old car. And I recommend looking into that if you want to do something motorized. It's really easy to use those motors. Okay. It's just that, and then just project that, and then extrude this down to this new body, and then I'll combine these two. So the idea here is that the bearing sits on top, the bearing sits underneath, and I can use the bearing to sandwich these pieces together and thus create a pulley. And then we'll add a chamfer on these edges. Well, unfortunately, it was a necessity for me because you know, I would have loved to be able to just buy brand new parts. I would have loved to make the frame out of metal and stuff. You'll see it when the video comes out. The frame is so jank, made out of wood. It's the jankiest thing ever. But I think it's pretty endearing, if I'm being entirely honest. So we can go like that. We can do it nice and thick. Actually, let's do it 3. Let's just have the bearing popping out a little bit. So the only things I bought, I mean, obviously aside from all the 3D printed stuff, which I didn't buy the filament, but that was all supplied for this project. But I had to buy a motor controller, I had to buy a little micro switch, and I had to buy the cable. The cable was the most expensive part of the whole thing. It was $100. But everything else... Oh, and I bought a couple 2x4s. And probably some other things, just some little hardware. Screws, tons of screws. But other than that, yeah, it's like fully... Everything's been salvaged from something else. Okay. And it's obviously a little different than my like more music related content. But to make up for it, I will be writing a song or two for this video. 10 minutes ago, I emailed Culture Hustle to ask for an affiliate link to use in a painting live stream. I'm using their new paint, the world's mirrorist mirror. Whoa, that's cool. I'm really like... Gondola mechanical components. I'm gonna just restart Fusion because I need to be able to insert some screws and stuff, and it's not letting me do that right now. This, and we can pop that. Oh. Yeah, so it's this one's been a big project. We've been working on it for like a month and a half straight, like really consistently. And the last week or so I've been streaming like almost every day. Doing that is more general audience. And I've been kind of against trying to make videos specifically for the algorithm. But this idea came up naturally. I was like, I gotta deal with these mice somehow, and I just really didn't want to keep trapping them with lethal traps. And so I was like, I gotta figure out how to get him out of here without killing him. And so it came up naturally, and then I realized, oh, this could be a fun video that is general audience, that doesn't, you know, I didn't necessarily think of this for the YouTubes initially, but I've been having I feel like the visual aspect of it just starts happening naturally. And so like making the gondolas themselves was so fun, to make them look as good as possible. And you know, that all aids to the potential clickability of the video and everything. So it all feels right. And so I'm hoping it does well, because I'll keep making videos like this too. And then ideally, and actually when I started this channel, I did not want to go music at all with it. The music thing was sort of just a result of me trying to, or getting bored of what I was doing. And if I can just keep building things for the property that actually helps me out in my daily life, and they do well as YouTube videos, that's like double win. Odd story, but I was using Fusion yesterday to make an object to use as the mascot of the YouTube channel. I discovered they've injected a dose of AI into it. Normally I hate that. What? Really? I didn't know that. Why can't I do this? I haven't seen the AI stuff at all, but I haven't updated this in a long time. Maybe that's why I can't get these. I feel the same way about AI. Like, it's like kind of bugs me, but then at the same time it saves me so much time sometimes. Crazy. Oh. Is my internet just like busted right now? The why do I keep spelling grayed out like that? I'm not in offline mode. Notification center. Okay, I guess I'll update this now. But yeah, busted. AI now, it's gonna change everything, and while I agree to use it in everything, and it's like necessarily just a lot of that away. Now, when it comes down to like thumbnails and like visualizing stuff and that sort of thing, AI is great, and I do use it, but it's like this push to use AI in everything kind of drives me crazy, because it's like, you know, people will be like, you got to use AI music. It's like, absolutely not. That's a hard line I draw. And it's just like, I don't, a lot of the times it's what I hear it on my microphone. No. Mars, a meter outside. Oh gosh, I'm so stormy. Oh gosh, I'm so stormy. I'm downloading an update for Fusion. It's just about done though, so I think it'll get a lot better once this is done. So like, oh no, 94. Yeah, that was a. Wait, was that not a bot that I just banned? Blue thing. Okay, hopefully the stream is better now. Because my... Still looks bad. God. Hopefully this update wasn't a crazy one. That's okay. That's okay. Still not. I verified all of this and still is working. Oh. Oh. That's so dumb. Okay, so apparently I can't insert a component because I'm in a parts design, not a hybrid mode, so I gotta go here. I guess gondola design page is probably... Insert, oh yeah, that's what it is, okay. Insert derive. Gondola. Mechanical components. Okay. This all makes sense now. Okay, so we're just doing it here then, I guess. So now I can insert a make master car component. Okay, now we're back in business. Bearings, ball bearings, ball bearings, precision, outer diameter. Oh, okay, wait. Ball bearings, outer diameter is 22 millimeters. Standard. Width. What was it? 6 or 7? 7. Oh, does it say? It's a 608 bearing. 608 ZZ. But 608 ZZ. It's not an option. It's fine. Frustrating. I have an inkling that you're not using the correct mic input because when you tap your laptop... Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Yeah, there we go. Is that better? That's got to be so much better. Thank you. It's I have on my other when I'm in this mode it's right, but I forgot to change it on this mode. Thank you for noticing that. If I'm remembering correctly, it is the exact same message that appeared in yesterday's stream. Yeah, I get those every stream. I get a couple of those at least. Okay, good. I can hear myself in my headphones, so I thought this whole time it was going good. Okay, so we've got a little bearing. So we can put him inside here. Okay, and we'll change the color of this to yeller. Apply, and change the color of this to red, because that's a different one. Apply. And then I can move components. Boom. Okay, so that's how this whole thing works. This is all upside down, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Can I just go like this? This is crazy. I'm just having one of those days. We're kind of like, I was I was installing a new, well, we were just installing like a kind of a linen closet thing in our bathroom. Pretty easy job, generally speaking, but today I was just having all of the issues. And just sometimes that's the way it is. Okay, there we go. Now this is the right way up. Okay, good. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for letting me know. I'm the greatest streamer of all time. I'm the greatest streamer of all time. Such high quality streams. Okay, so now that we have that, I think what size screw is meant for a 608 bearing? I think it's 5/8. Oh, 8mm. Oh, 5/16. Okay, so a 5/16 is fine. I'm going to use a 5/16 because I know I can get those. Don't know if I can get an 8mm bearing or screw. Always a letdown when the how hard can it be jobs almost defeat us, but we get through them eventually. Not every time. Not every time. I've given up a handful of times recently. I'm going to prep. I'm going to prep this guy. Our little detent release button. Save as mesh. Okay. 2.0. H2D. H2D. Open. Sync info. Continue. Overwriting. Synchronize now. Okay. Auto. And I guess we'll just do this out of PL. That's true. That's true. It's a good way to put it. 7 years. Yep. That's right. That's like how long you need to keep receipts for. Just gotta clear this build plate quickly. So that'll buy us some time. I like to have things printing while I'm designing because it just feels like an efficient use of time. So we're gonna insert a 5/16. I think it's probably by 24. And maybe we'll do an 1.5 inches. Probably. So in order to make this work, I need to have it so I can push the bearing, or I can push the roller. I need to be able to mount this down to the frame and then be able to push the roller. I have to go measure. I gotta go measure how far off the ground or the frame the chain sits, and then I'll be able to figure out the height here. Give me one. I like the thought of that. Okay, give me a second. Bear with me. I'm gonna be going out in the wind, so wish me luck. I'll be 5 seconds. Oh, that sucked, but it's rainy out there, so that's a good thing because we got lots of fires right now. Give me a second. I have to do this before I forget. So 14.5 millimeters from there. Ooh, that does not leave a lot of room at all. Yikes. Okay. And then from that point, I have 46 mils. In fact, I'll do 45 just so that we're being... Okay, there's much more room up top, so I might flip this around, actually. Okay, so this is how I play KSP. What's KSP? What game is that? We do have 5 viewers. I don't know who else is here. I know a Ragamuffin's not going to be on the stream today, unfortunately. What? Kerbal Space Program job? I don't know what any of that means. I thought this was going to be an easy thing to design, but I have so little room on the bottom here. I don't really know what I'm going to do. And then I have to create a tightening mechanism that pushes this outwards. That sounds cool. I thought this was going to be so simple. Okay. So, yeah, this is the issue, right? I need to apply a decent amount of pressure. And like obviously the bolt is sticking way down past where we need it to be. So the bolt can't go like this. I could do the bolt upwards, but then I think it's still... Yeah, the bolt is even too thick. The bolt is going to be too thick. And realistically, if I wanted to do this right, I would support this on two ends. Because I don't want the chain to start pulling down on this. Okay. Get rid of that. Oh no, let's keep that. Let's get rid of this. Sketch on here. Project this. Actually, I'm gonna find my center. Frustrating. Okay, I'm just gonna project this, whatever, it's fine. Why don't I see it though? See that day I've been having, it is getting into my design day now too. I could cut the bolt, but I'm going to try and move it inwards first. Hopefully that will work. Oh god, that one's already done. That was so fast. I just don't really understand why this isn't projecting. Oh. Oh, okay. I see. Did my sketch plane wrong. Sketch on this surface, capture position. 22. Boom. Bodies. Let's get this guy back up, but then let's make him transparent. And let's make this one transparent as well. Okay, so we only have to move. So we can get rid of this, just hide that bearing for a second. Objects to cut. We don't want to cut any of this stuff. Like, I can kind of figure this stuff out pretty good. But today I am struggling, I tell ya. Objects to cut. Oh, I see. That's why. I don't want to cut any of the... Okay, so now this bearing just goes right through. I'm so confused. I'm confusing myself so much today. That bearing just goes right through, so we can't have that. What? Oh, God. I was actually reminded of your talents twice today because I had an idea where we'd make one of my song ideas on stream together in Logic. I got it, but it's been a decade since my Logic Pro 9 days. I've got all the kit to record my vocal tracks, but I haven't put any instruments. Just print them. I have minimal instruments up here. I honestly just use the Logic instruments. Although Logic 9, that's old. But all you need is a microphone for your vocals, and then everything else you can figure out without having to buy any instruments, I think. Obviously, instruments are cool. I love instruments. But it's also fun to not have instruments. You heading out, Carson? Or are you... why are you saying bye? Okay, I've messed this up. I see what I need to do. 9 these days? Is it even supported at all? How does that work? And you don't actually buy instruments. What happened, Carson? Are you out of here? Okay, we're just going to cut it there for now. I don't know what's happened. Would be the new version of Logic Pro. I only used Pro 9 back in 2016. I just keep coming up with all sorts of stream ideas now that I've got. Logic Pro 10, which is what I use, or Logic Pro X. It's really easy. It's really good. I like it a lot. And like all my songs that I've done that aren't 3D printed songs, I've just, like in all my videos, when I do a song, they're just straight up Logic 10 sounds. I don't even use I don't use any extra VSTs. I have like some that I bought beforehand, but it's like all reverbs and stuff. I don't have any instruments that I bought. I learned DAWs at a young age, so that is true. Like, um, it's they haven't changed a lot, so luckily, I a lot of that a lot I don't have, I never had to relearn a lot of that stuff, but it's pretty straightforward. You just gotta like I learned everything just by doing it. I didn't like start by watching any tutorials or anything. I just opened it up, tried to figure it out. Anytime I got stuck, look for that specific thing on a tutorial, and then um you'll like really all you actually need is to understand how to record a MIDI instrument, understand how to manipulate the MIDI instrument notes, and then understand how to record audio. And well, you should figure it out. I personally find, like, I've tried Photoshop, no dice for me. Um, but it just goes to show, like, it's probably way easier than you think. You just need to get in that headspace. I'm so confused. What am I doing here? Like, my ability to visualize this today is just not working. So we're gonna construct an axis through a cylinder. We're gonna construct a plane at an angle. Okay. This is good now. So right now, I actually re-solidify these, make these solids again. Yeah, jump. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna just figure out what where you get stuck, and then you just gotta. It's gonna suck initially for a little bit, for sure, but you'll get it. Okay, so we'll just do that. And then I'm going to sketch on this surface. Oh, cross-section analysis is great. I'm not going to lie. Oh, wait. And then we're going to just project this. And then I'm going to extrude this down. And we're going to make it a new body. And then we're going to combine this to this. Okay. There's our little sandwich. You taking off there, honestly, Mars? I appreciate you joining on. It's good to see you. Yeah. Let me know. Let me know when you're hopping on a stream, and I'll try and stop by. That'd be really fun. And then if you get stuck, maybe I can help you right there. Okay, so you see that this is going to squish all of this together in a really good way. So that. Yeah, please do. That'd be fun. we're going to go and create a sketch on this surface. I'm going to project this inner circle. We're going to make it slightly smaller. I'm going to turn the opacity down on this again so I can see. We're going to extrude this up. Okay. And then we're going to sketch. So this, then we're going to sketch on this surface. And now we're just going to create a bracket. Let's do 40. And then we'll come back to 50. Like that. Nice. And then I'm going to extrude this upwards. Oh. I can do 2 mils. That's good enough. We're going to create a sketch. Okay, now I'm starting to get into the flow again. Let's get it to the top of the bearing. 20, so we'll go 21. And then we'll sketch here. We'll project this shape. And we'll project this shape. And then we'll extrude this up. Let's do like 5 mils, so it's nice and chonk. And then I can get a bolt on there, and this wheel should be able to rotate pretty good. Okay. So I'm just going to start by printing these 3 things. Just while I got the printer going. Save as mesh. We're going to change this to not be final prints. I just want to go mouse gondola prints. Open, and I'm going to call this chain roller, chain guide pulley top test 1. Chain guide pulley bottom test 1. Where's this body? Why is it here? Oh, it joined it with the screw. Okay, I gotta figure this out. Yeah, so it's that extrude is not joined. That should be a new body. Still. Oh, that's fine. Chain, guide, pulley, housing, test 1. But open these. No. Auto. Arrange. And then I need to add some support. So let's make this all black. Support. Yes. On build plate only. Slice. Yes. Nice. Okay, 46 minutes. That's perfect. Test this out while we're here. So the part we're changing is the latch thing. So you can see this one, the latch work. So okay, I'm gonna pull this off. Now we can see, how does this work? Oh yeah, that feels much better. You can see I'm like actuating the lever. It doesn't want to go, and then at a certain point it's free now, and then pops back in. It's not great. It still actually doesn't feel that great. Why? I see. It's deformed it. It's deformed it now. So we could try just printing this in ABS instead, because the ABS is a little bit better when it comes to deformation. So maybe that's the first thing we try. That worked really good for a second, and now it's not working. So we'll try ABS. If that doesn't work, then I gotta mess around with the shape a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. Gah. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to Fusion here. So we're printing this now. Let's wait for this to print before we start designing anymore, because basically I'm going to just use a bolt. I'm just going to use not this one because the thread's too short, but I'm just going to find a bolt that I can screw in and then use to tighten. And then I'll have to put some sort of guide thing. It's gonna be pretty involved actually, which is kind of frustrating because I just wanted to. I thought I was gonna get all the gondolas on today, and we didn't. We have more work to do yet. Now, my whole point with this design. Unfortunately, I've left it on the gondola, so I can't even show you in real life right now. My whole point of this design, though, was that we have this long piece that's supported by the cable for the most part, but it's only actually attached to the cable in this middle part here. And the reason I did that is because when we go around the 14-inch bull wheel, I want the cable to be able to flex as much as possible. And it worked really well. It went around the bottom bull wheel, no problem. But the problem is the cable sometimes gets knocked out, and then ends up on top of this, and the whole thing just gets messed up. So I need a better way of supporting the cable supporting this guy. But then when we reach, I don't exactly know how to do that. The other benefit of this too was this little gap in here. When you tighten the zap strap or the zip tie around here, it actually pulls the cable in slightly. So then it's actually kind of tightening back in. But it was just too, I don't know, it just messed up like way too easily. So I kind of want to redesign this whole thing. When things don't work for me, it's rare that I think, okay, I just need to do a little tweak here and there. It has been the crux. Everything else I've done has been relatively successful, and I've been like nervous about a lot of things, like splicing the whole cable and like building the towers and everything. I stressed about for so long, and it just didn't work. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do here. And there's so many things I need to consider with this. I think one of the issues is that when it rides up, so let's look at it from this angle. You'll notice the wheels here, and actually let me add some color to this so we can really see what's going on. The wheels here, the way it kind of works, the cable rides along this, gripping the cable is going to pop this cable out of that channel temporarily, which is fine. And that's why I added this little lip on the wheel, because on the actual model, I have a zap strap that goes this way around the green thing, and this little lip holds the zap strap, so it's kind of like a temporary track that it gets to sit in. The track is like here, and the cable's pulling down pretty hard. This whole thing ends up actually twisting. So when it goes onto this whole thing kind of ends up actually twisting. So we want to prevent that from happening. We want it so when this ends up riding on this, it just lifts straight up. on this high to clear this little edge. And so as a result, it wants to twist. And it actually does it like severely. And it does all this weird stuff. So maybe so that we can support the second track action right here. So we can avoid using our zap strap thing. The reason I was doing the zap strap thing going this way is because this is supposed to print flat. You know, this prints flat on this face. So adding some extra material here will prevent us from printing it flat. But that might be okay. Because actually it went over the top really well. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this actually might still work. Let's move this up. Actually, let's go like this. Let's create a copy and move this up, and then we can reference the original. Let's do the opposite of what I was about to do. Let's try and keep this relatively the same. And I'm going to get rid of this chamfer. Mirror this. Let's do the same. Because when I originally designed this, I kind of forgot that not only does it have to ride on top of rollers, it has to ride under a set of rollers as well. So I made this kind of one directional, or I made this one-sided, and I should probably make it two-sided. So what I'm going to do, let's just make this symmetrical for a second, because we know we're going to create a sketch on... Why aren't you letting me make a sketch here? Oh, right. This surface isn't flat. Okay, so let's start by flattening that first. See what I'm talking about? Like, there's just a lot. There's just a lot going on here. So I'm going to just start by doing a... Okay, let's... First of all, it's impossible to model stuff at an angle. It's not impossible, but it just sucks. So let's get this flat. I don't actually know what flat is. How do I make a model flat? Do you point to position? Point to point? Let me just see. I have a model in Fusion 360 that I position it so that one face is flat with origin. Losing my mind. Losing my mind. Using the Align tool, this tool lets you snap any face of your model directly to an origin plane or any other flat surface. Before you start, make sure you can see your origin planes or go to the browser. Okay. Align. Okay, so let's get a plane going here. Offset plane from this. That'll work. Let's just bring it up pretty far here. Okay. Bodies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's actually so I've never in all my years of Fusion 360, I've never used the Align feature, which is crazy. I knew it was a thing, but Methinks PCBWay could ordinarily charge between 3,000 to 6,000 to render everything in this project in milled aluminum. Just another reason why it's more fun this way. That would be sick. Honestly, that would be sick. But I always kind of come back to like, you know, how can we use limitations to our advantage? Or not to our advantage, but like I feel like there's so much learning that can happen when you're limited. And okay, it's gonna be a real brat about this. Limitations I find are so fun to try and work around. And so like, you know, the limitation of having to use 3D printed parts for a lot of this, I feel like has made me a better designer. And it's maybe a better problem solver. That's for sure. And at the end of the day, being a better problem solver is kind of like my ultimate goal. I want to be the best problem solver ever. Okay, now we can just grab these faces and we can just yeet them out of here. Let's clean them up. And then we can I appreciate it, man. It was I appreciate the input on this project because it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I should have been way further. I know we're gonna create a mirror of this, and we're just gonna mirror it right here, and we're gonna join. Okay, so this is our new thing. It's way chunkier. And then what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna move this, this, and this. We're gonna create a copy so I have something to work with. And then, now that I know how to align stuff, this body, this. Okay, do I have to just do these one by one? Maybe I'll just do them one by one. Okay. This to this as well. Circles don't matter. And then we can move this point, body, point to point, boom. Those line up, and then we can pull this away for a second. And then we can move. If theoretically, if I grab both of these and go, oh no, it's not gonna work. Point to point. Like Fusion 360 stuff. But I feel so inadequate at it. But then at the same time, I feel like I could do it. But it's just like, there's probably so much of the industry standard stuff that I just have no idea about, and I'd get totally roasted on that in that regard. Okay, so now let's go like this. Let's move this. And let's just place this sort of in position there. So now we know, okay, this is kind of the low point of this, but actually, yeah, actually this would be the highest position this will be in, though. Oh no, that's right. This it's kind of confusing because this actually pivots, right? So when this is on top of this, when this is sitting like this, because this whole carriage pivots around this point, it actually pushes this wheel down and pushes this one up so that the cable can kind of compensate. Maybe we'll just go like this, and we'll just go. actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these wheels. I'm going to get rid of this. And then I'm going to sketch on this surface. Oh, wait. No, we're going to undo. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to move this so it's sitting on top of that point. Now we move this over. I really don't understand what's going to happen, but the goal is to have a flat surface that rolls along this chunky part of the wheel, and then I just need to cut out a groove. Two mils. And obviously, I think we'll make this considerably bigger than 2 mils. But we'll just start with 2 mils for now, and then we'll just use push-pull, finish. And then I can go and extrude this high enough that it clears. Oh, see, that didn't work out too good. There we go. There we go. And then we can check the front. Ooh, I could go higher than that, couldn't I? Yeah, let's make it definitely clear it. I feel like we're still not quite there. Yeah, let's just maybe go right to this. I see. I see why it didn't do it properly, but that's okay. I think it's okay to go right to that point. Okay, so there's our channel. And so we're still left with four mils. It's not a lot. It's actually not a lot. So let's grab. Oh, I'm working on the wrong one here. This is the one. God, I'm confused. Let's grab this and extrude both of these, and then let's view it again from the front. I'm so confused. Like, what am I looking at here? Oh, is it because of this? Oh, there we go. That's why I was confused. It was an optical illusion. Yeah, so we don't need that much clearance. Like, probably add another mil back. Boom. Get rid of that. So this will be able to ride on that. So now, let's make it a little bit bigger, because it doesn't need to be exactly 2 mils. We can have some leeway on this. Like if we go -1. Ooh, that's too much. -0.5. There we go. So now this track is quite a bit bigger, so there's a little bit of wiggle room. And then of course, we'll also kind of guide it in with maybe what does a fillet do? Let's see. I think that'll be good, right? That'll guide it in. So make it 2. And so it really can't miss, at least ideally. Oh, and actually, I don't need to do it on the backs. I will, because I will be maybe reversing these. The direction of these. So I think that's good. That'll like glide over this, but also create a nice flat spot. So the cable's going to have a much harder time now, because for that cable, which is putting quite a bit of force in the downwards position, and it was allowing this whole thing to twist. But now, since this is going to be sitting on here, the leverage point's right here. And so the cable's not going to be able to do anything. Right? And I think that twisting is what causes the cable to lift out of this. Now I'm wondering if it's probably worth adding another fillet here. Oops. So we added a little bit of a fillet here. I'm going to delete these for a second. I think I'm going to do something more significant. But I'll think about that for a little bit. What happens if we go like this? Does that create kind of a nice... Is that necessary? I don't think that's necessary. What? 1.5? There. Because it never leaves in this area, but it leaves in this area. So this will hopefully work better. So let's just do that again. 1.5. Boom. Like this is ending up to be a pretty over-engineered thing. Now, do we lose a lot maxed out? But it kind of just tapers off. Okay. So I dig that. Now we just need to copy small little fillet here. Just so we're not putting too much stress on the cake. There we go. That looks so much better. That looks so much better. Okay. And so instead of just remodeling this whole thing, let's just do a mid-plane here. Boom. And then let's just eat this and then join it. Look at that. Isn't that a crazy looking thing? Now this is a weak spot. And then we can add fillets here. Maybe just, oops. Add fillets here, maybe just 0.75. No, let's do 1. That'll be good. And then we can do the same here. Really just trying to like imagine what the cable's going to be going through, like on an emotional level. And trying to smooth out, because I want to make this a smooth ride, right? So we want to create sort of smooth transitions into all of this. So that's looking pretty fresh, I think. Like it's crazy. So this offers a secondary track while they kind of keep everything straight, hopefully. We'll see. I don't know for sure. Now, the way it was clamped onto this was honestly a really annoying part to print. Let's create a copy and let's move it over here. Okay. I want to align this surface with this one. We can turn the opacity back up to 100 spice on that. And then we can go point to point move of this. And we'll grab the inside point and match it with that point. So this is designed to pinch, you know, you send a bolt through this and it pinches this whole thing. I don't know if I need this bottom one. And I don't know if this thing needs to be this thick either. And printing this was really annoying because there was this middle section that needed supports because it has to print in this direction. I cannot print this with this on the bottom. It has to print with this on the just want to check something here. Ooh, it sizes this hole here. 4.8. So let's grab a line here. And then let's delete this one. And I'm going to just do a little bit of an indent this way. But now what I can do with that is I can get this back in and I can arrange the point. Whoops. We'll go this point to this point. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a gap there now. I'm going to get rid of that and I'm going to extrude this so there's no gap. We're just going to go new body with this, and then I can combine these. Actually, I won't use an extrude. I'll use a press pull, and then it'll maintain that circularity. Nah. Never mind. We're doing an extrude. I don't know why that did that. Oh, wait. Actually, can I do a press pull? Now, let's sketch on this surface, and we're going to project. If I get rid of this, I can go like this and extrude. And let's go out here. So my question is, do I even need this bottom piece? Or at the very least, I can maintain the bottom piece, but it doesn't need to be one single piece. Here. And then recombine these, or in between the ground and that part. And then this part just prints as its own thing. That might be way better. And then theoretically, like you bolt through the sandwich. This thing can really clamp in. And then any torque on this surface here, which honestly this is more material than this thing, but any torque on this surface here it's just pressing up against this, you know, like if this does bend, it's going to want to kind of bend in this direction, but it's going to be stopped by this part still. Obviously, if they were one piece, it would be a little bit better, but I think it's marginal, and I think this will be strong enough. So maybe let's just do that. If I really wanted to, I could do a little puzzle piece situation on the bottom, but I think we're okay. I think we're going to be okay. And then what that 2mm hole I added there will let me do is bring this in an additional 2 mils, because the problem with the current I designed the gondola. You can see the gondola's been designed so the cable is sitting directly over the center of the gondola, right? Center of mass. The issue is all the hanger and stuff and everything on this side is adding a little bit of mass. And so what's happening is this edge of the gondola sits a bit higher than this edge because the center of mass, if it was just the gondola, is directly over the center of it. But because of all of this extra mass, it is slightly tilting down on this side. So by shrinking this, we're moving that center of mass just over this way a little bit. And hopefully that's enough. The only problem is that gets it closer to the wall, and we're already really close to the wall in a lot of places on the gondola. So it's kind of a bit of a risky move to do that. But I feel like that's okay. Worst case scenario, I can kind of create the walls of the actual frame of the gondola to be a little bit better. But I feel pretty good about theory, which I love. I love when necessity creates pretty wild designs, and I feel like this is kind of that situation. So now we have a scenario where it's not gonna get all twisted when it jumps over this rim, because it's not jumping over the rim now. It's actually riding that rim, and it just jumps over on this super flat part, which is fully supported right up to where the cable is. So the cable's not going to have the torque necessary to actually like let this twist a bit. And then on top of that, you know, we've got these fillets here to make sure that even if we're off somehow, if the cable's just like, I mean, realistically, the cable's going to guide this right in, but there's enough leeway there that I think it'll never miss, both on the top and the bottom. We don't need the zap strap. Obviously, we're going to have to print this with a little bit of support just under here, but the zap strap situation, zap straps do come through here. So what I'll do is, let's create a sketch here. And let's just do a simple thing like this. Boom. Let's knock this down. I don't know how thick a zap strap is, and I don't have one here, but I can kind of do this by eye. So let's just like look. Maybe half a mil. So maybe let's just do a mil. Let's kind of go crazy with this, because I want this to be smooth. Right? Have enough material, but not too much. Or I want it to have enough material, but we've made this whole thing thicker, and it was holding pretty good with what we had. The other thing I'm sort of dedicated to doing is doing 2 zap straps, and then also some just like metal wire for redundancy. The metal wire is going to offer like basically no strength to the actual cable hold, but it is there for redundancy, so that if the zap's gondola, and hopefully allow it to come back up. And then we're going to add a fillet there. Actually, we can add more of this, because then we can go harder on the fillet. And like the head of the zap strap, the part that the strap goes through, can just hide in here, which is nice. And so we're going to avoid I am a little bit... No, no, no. We should be fine. We should be fine here. It'll kind of... Yeah, it'll hide in here. It'll be clear of the track. Track will be fine. I think this is a winning design. It looks cool. It looks pretty cool. Oh, okay, here's another thing that we're just realizing. We are just realizing this together. Is there a scenario where as this is riding over the wheel, is it going to get caught trying to get back in the track once it goes through this hole? You know what I mean? Because we have these guiding fillets to guide the wheel through, but then it's got to kind of jump this gap a little bit. So maybe just to be safe, let's just add fillets here as well. They don't have to be big. Maybe just a 1 mil. A 1 mil fill. Okay, 1 mil fill. Wow, that looks intense. Let me just see how this is doing. This is almost done, yeah. Nice. Looking good. So I don't have the bolt for that yet, unfortunately, but... So I feel pretty good about this. I feel like this is a little close to the edge, but maybe I can just do a fillet. Oh, shoot. Maybe I can just do a fillet on this. And actually, oh yeah, the bolt is even... We can go like that. Right, because it is really close to this, and there is bolts sticking out the bottom, but I think that's okay. This looks pretty nuts. Should I do the same fillet here? Sure. Sure. That looks a little better. It's a chunky boy. And then of course we have the hanger arm. Where is that even? Roller, it's probably one of these. Yeah, it's going to be this. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so then we have the hanger arm, which I don't think I'm going to change too much. The other thing I wanted to consider adding, but I probably won't do it in time. I would love it because, right, like we have this, and this clips on to that this black part. The problem is when you take this off, when you take this off, all of a sudden this now is not part of the center of mass at all anymore, and this thing just swings. What? Probably wrap up and see. What are you thinking? Okay. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'm just gonna test that part when it's done, and then I think I'll wrap up.
I'm making shepherd's
Oh yeah, that sounds so good. Sounds so good. Shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's pie. So nice if you could take this off and this still hangs, vertical, but instead it wraps under, and then you can't actually run the machine without the gondolas on it. So it's kind of a usability issue. I don't know what the best move is. Like, is it worth trying to add an additional weight? The problem is right now the gap between the rollers, or the gap between the cable and the top of the machine, is good. The motor that runs the machine ends up going right between these two. A lot of the frame ends up going right between these two, so I can't really just add a counterweight here. Which here and goes out. But that just seems like a lot. And it would really affect the look of it. So I think I'm not going to worry about it. I don't really need to run the machine without the gondolas on it. The only reason I was thinking that would be nice is because then I could have it so that gondola run the machine instead of having all the gondolas lined up, because right now I'm going to have all the gondolas lined up so they're like only a few feet apart from each other. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It'll be fine. Okay, let me grab that print. I'm going to see if I have a 5/16 bolt. I probably do, because I do a lot of stuff with bearings. So I'm just going to go quickly look for a bolt, and we'll test this thing out, and then I'll wrap up here. Give me a second. Okay, I did find a bolt. So I've got to knock the supports out, which hopefully they just pop out because I printed the supports in a different material. There we go. See that? Isn't that so nice? I just love that. Look at that. That just pops out. That would be impossible to do before. So nice. Okay, and then bearing. Ooh. Ooh, that is tight. I could use the arbor press. Okay, and then do these parts fit together? Yes. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, let me just go to the press. I'm gonna push this in better because it's got to go. Ooh, actually. Dang it. Dang it. I shouldn't have hammered that in yet. I don't mind how tight this is. Okay, not too bad. There's a little, yeah, there's a little ring of Oh, nice. That machine's just about done. Let me arbor press this in quickly. I do love having an arbor press. Okay. So that's there. And then this guy goes on top. And then a second bearing goes in. Oh, I'm going to have to press that one. Should have pressed this at the same time. What am I doing? Amateur hour, I tell ya what. Okay, now theoretically, this is the magic. This part goes inside this part. That does seem to kind of work. Oh, there's a little piece there that's kind of getting in the way. This is frustrating. I need a knife. Or maybe these. I need a knife. Where's my knife? Where's? Oh, yeah. Got the knife. Okay, let's see. Can I cut this? Okay. So that part, there's that little lip in there. And that is kind of going to help support the... Ooh, that's good. That's good. I might put a washer there. But it also has the bolt... Oh, no, I don't need to put a washer because the bolt actually goes through this and then squeezes into that. Oh, yeah. Actually, it goes... So the bolt's supposed to sit flush in this. Captured. Oh, I'm so dumb, though. I needed to put the other thing on first. This is good. I think this is good. So this guy clips on. There we've got a full wheel. And obviously when we bolt this together, it's going to be nice and strong. This goes in, if it can. Ooh. It doesn't want to. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, that goes in there. So that's already like basically rolling. But that's without the bearing. So now we put the bolt in. And we get it flush. And that's quite good. That's very good. That works surprisingly well. That's good. So we do a washer on the top. And then I can bolt this in. And like, look how thin this piece of material is, but it's so strong. Like I can like we're getting full on rolling there. So that works great. That's awesome. So now I just need to design a way to basically have a bolt. So a mount that goes onto the frame, and then this sits there, and then you can have a bolt that pushes this, thus tightening it against the chain. So that works pretty well. I think we'll finish designing that tomorrow. I got to go do some things. Yeah, yeah. I got to go grab some things from the store before it closes. So we'll go ahead and I might end up designing this off stream tonight. We'll see. I'm feeling a little bit like I need to kind of cram and get things done. So I can at least print this and mount this tomorrow. But anyways, yeah, and I'll get a couple other prints started tonight. And yeah. Yeah, that's a good place to stop. Appreciate hanging out, y'all. We're so close. Now it's like the details. We've got the main thing built. We've got pretty much everything printed for most of our gondolas. We just have to cut the acrylic and make sure the actual thing works. And then we're done. So let's wrap this here. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I think I'm going to stream tomorrow. I wasn't going to stream tomorrow, but I ended up doing so much today, not on this, that we'll end up doing some stuff tomorrow. So cool. I'll see you then.